Hey everybody, so how are we doing today? Time for Trump war news, huh? Huh? Here we go. So, war with Iran? According to Trump, it wouldn't last very long. Not talking about boots on the ground. U.S. President Donald Trump has boasted that a military confrontation with Iran would be a quick affair, but also said that this is something he doesn't want. I don't want it either. Trump spoke about the possibility of invading Iran during an interview with Fox Business News on Wednesday. I hope we don't, but we're in a very strong position if something should happen. Are we? Are we in a really strong position? If you're talking about military tech, advanced radar, military personnel, and so on, you would be right. But in terms of budget, you would be wrong. According to current revenue for the United States and to our government budget, our total revenue is currently estimated to be $3.643 trillion for 2020. This is the most recent budget forecast from the Office of Management and Budget for October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020. And here's how most of it will be spent and how most of it will come in. We're going to be looking at an individual income tax rate adding to $1.822 trillion. Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, and retirement is estimated at $1.295 trillion. $256 trillion for corporate income tax. Excess taxes and tariffs at $167 trillion. $64 trillion estate taxes and miscellaneous. And the Federal Reserve System earnings at $449. So yeah, that'll be our current revenue. However, we still owe $21 trillion in debt, which cannot be immediately eliminated, but it can be managed and kept to a minimum. However, do we really have room in all of that for a military engagement and what that would ultimately cost us? I would say probably not. Let's see if I can find the article I was reading earlier. Damn it, why did I back out of it? Here we go. Here's a summary of the military spending in billions of dollars since 2003. We spent $437.4 billion in 2003. And we're likely going to be spending $989 billion in 2020. We've already spent pretty much toward 956.5 in this year alone, and in the last year we spent 890 billion, which admittedly still that is still well covered by our revenue, but ultimately doesn't really leave much money left over for infrastructure, and our infrastructure is crumbling. The U.S. power grid is vulnerable. It's a joke. It's a joke power grid. So I hope to God he doesn't take us to war. Less than a week earlier, reports emerged that U.S. forces were poised to launch airstrikes against targets inside Iran before being canceled by Trump just 10 minutes beforehand. The strikes were to occur in response to Iran shooting down an unmanned U.S. drone that Washington claims was in international airspace, something Iranian officials dispute. Of course they do. Because I'm not saying Iran's guilty, I'm not saying they're innocent, but it's obvious that their policy has basically been to deny everything. This follows rising tensions between the two nations earlier this month. Two oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman were attacked by unknown forces. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blamed Iran, but offered no definitive evidence to support the assertion. Thank you! Finally, a news outlet that agrees with me that the evidence was tenuous. Like, I kind of saw what looked like it might have been some Iranian Guard uniforms. I saw some melting ship, but nothing that clearly identified a guilty party. Last year, Trump unilaterally pulled out of the Obama-era Iran nuclear deal, known officially as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which led to re-imposition of sanctions on Iran, including on its oil sector. The move was widely criticized by other nations, including otherwise stalwart U.S. allies in Western Europe. In response, the Iranian government no longer abides by some clauses of the agreement. Yeah, because Trump's tariff and sanction policies are actually starting to alienate the rest of the world to the United States. We're alienating our allies and neighbors. Trump, I seriously hope you know what you're doing, because there are a lot of people who are looking at us and thinking, man, these Americans are real a-holes. So I sincerely hope you know what you're doing. Anyway,